Everything is a drum.
Hey! What's up everyone, Adam from FWCI here, and this is a new series that I'm starting every single month. I'm going to do a bunch of action figure unboxings for the collections that I have. So I love my collections, anything pop culture, I'm usually pretty into it, but especially like the Marvel Legends, the DC McFarlane Toys, and WWE, AEW wrestling figures as well. That's the kind of thing that you're going to see on here, but this is just going to be my opportunity to share this passion that I have with you guys, give my opinion on some of these action figures, and that's one of the things that really genuinely makes me happy. So you're gonna see a man in his element with these videos, and we're gonna start with Thunder Rosa AEW Blood and Guts. At first glance, looking at the packaging, AEW do an amazing job. Jazzwares do an amazing job with their specialty packaging. I mean, just that on the back there, that's prime for getting like an autograph on or something along those lines. The Blood and Guts series is great with all the blood all over the action figures, especially getting a Thunder Rosa, which this is going on my Lucha Underground shelf. I'm a huge Lucha Underground fan. She was in Lucha Underground for a while, therefore she makes the shelf, and as soon as I saw this announced, I knew I had to get it. Well, let's open her up. We've got a few heads and some hands and some soft goods in this, so this looks like it's going to be a beautiful figure. This unboxed a lot easier than the Pentagon Ultimate Edition. Buyer beware if you are getting some of the Ultimate Editions. They do not unbox easily. So a nice little detail. They've got the St. Patrick's Day Slam logo on the back of the box right there, which I think that looks pretty good. That's where this match took place, and I appreciate how specific Jazzwares gets with the AEW, packaging and stuff like that. And my first impression is that this is an absolute knockout figure. I'm very strategic with my AEW figures because it is quite pricey getting them from overseas, and this one is everything that I was hoping for and more. So got to be careful opening up. Mine is starting to come apart at the waist. Just trying to get it out of the box. Wow, it just popped off straight away. I'm hoping that this just clips back in. These AEW ones do seem to be pretty good at that. Okay, just clip back in, but that's always a concern with the AEW Jazzwares figures is, are you going to be able to, is there going to be any like legs popping off, arms popping off? All right, let's check this one out. So other than that, the limbs all feel pretty good. The legs especially feel pretty good. I find they're a little bit dicey with the Jazzwares sometimes. Got two bits of articulation in the midsection, up and down. The head is obviously fully articulated. Are these double jointed? These are double jointed pinned joints. They haven't quite caught up to the pinless, it seems, which is a shame because I do really appreciate pinless. The elbows on these are actually maybe not loose, but they're very much they're very easy to move, put it that way. I love the attire on this as well, the green kind of snakeskin looking attire. I just think that's a fantastic look for Thunder Rosa. But looking at the three different heads that I've got here, the standard looking head is okay, it looks a little bit plain. But then the ones with the blood both look amazing. Different levels of blood across the two. It would have been nice if the blood maybe went into the hair a little bit more as well. You can see it kind of cuts off at the hairline. But they look great. The teeth exposed. The paint application on these heads is both pretty good as far as I can see. I don't see any real inconsistencies across any of the heads, but I've got to go with the one with the most blood on it. I mean, she's covered in blood right here, so I think the bloody head is definitely what probably most people will use to pose this one. Now, this is a little bit weird with the hands because there are two designs. I don't know if they're just supposed to be blood splatter, but they appear to only be on the left and right fisted hands. If I have a look at the other hands, they don't have this red splat on there, but the splatter also doesn't go up to the the wrist guard either. So I like the idea, but maybe they could execute it a little bit better, just make it a bit of blood on the knuckles. Good to see some gripping hands in there as well. They really don't spare any expense. I mean, this isn't a Supreme Edition figure or anything like that, but it's definitely got a few more bells and whistles than, you know, your average unrivaled unleashed wave figure. Just having a look at the paint application on the figure, this is damn near perfect. You got a little bit of cheeky cheeks going on at the back there. This looks absolutely amazing. I'm so glad that I waited for this. Her tattoos look amazing as well. The articulation doesn't give you quite as much sort of options as like the Marvel Legends figures, for example, but she stands up okay. The waist is a problem though. That seems to really be having a hard time staying in, and the way that the feet articulate as well, it doesn't seem to really give me a great deal of like side to side. It should, but it doesn't really. You have to, yeah, it's kind of weird. And the this joint here is pretty loose as well, which is a little bit of a problem, I won't lie. So it's definitely not without its flaws, but all the flaws on this are just technical things with the you know, the amount of give there is with the joints. So this soft good flag is kind of like sticky taped into the plastic. I don't know if I'm doing this the right way or the wrong way, but I feel like I gotta be really careful while removing this from the flag. It is leaving a little something on the sticky tape. I don't know if it's paint or if it's like ink or if it's just from the adhesive, but this is just really not a very ideal way to do it. So it doesn't look like there's any real way to pose her with this thing. I guess you could just sort of like, you know, stuff it in her hand, but I don't want to sort of crease up the flag too much. So I don't know what I'm going to do with that flag, but yeah, that could go with the Rey Mysterio, that could go with the Santos Escobar figure as well. So I think I'm going to leave that aside, and I'm just going to get Thunder Rosa with the Gift of the Gods Championship. Overall, this figure looks absolutely amazing, but as a bit of a habit with the AEW figures, there seems to be a lot of looseness to the joints, and I think they were having an issue with too much stiffness in the joints in the past, and maybe they've overcorrected a little bit. I know that this company's going to sort of find the right balance and fix these problems, and she stands up great. She looks absolutely amazing. It's Thunder Rosa. She's covered in blood. What more could you want? You've been looking at the figure photography there. This thing is an absolute masterpiece. I definitely recommend. Alright, this is Marvel Legends Kang the Conqueror from Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania. This is the Cassie Lang Build-A-Figure wave. Comes with Cassie's head and a couple of Kang hands. So I saw Quantumania and I didn't think it was very good. It was, I mean, it's a Marvel movie with great actors in it and, you know, a lot of action and all that kind of stuff, but it didn't resonate with me very much. MODOK was pretty awesome, but outside of that, it really just, yeah, it didn't land. I do see that it looks like Hasbro is getting away from the windowless packaging, which, you know, it's probably a good thing. I've never had any issues personally with the windowless packaging, but hey, there's a first time for everything. So I will eventually get the entire Cassie Lang Build-A-Figure wave and, you know, maybe do an unboxing with those as well. But for now, let's just get to the man himself. Kang the Conqueror. Okay, alright. Alright, so first thing I always do is I look for the articulation just to feel how the figure is. Is it like, you know, loose and stuff like that? And I'm pretty happy. The wrists are a little bit loose, actually. Double jointed, but there's not a great deal of movement on the in the wings, in the chicken wing department. And I don't know, it doesn't really doesn't really pose very good. The face, on the other hand, is pretty fucking good. I like it a lot. I think the shadowing on there looks pretty amazing. And, you know, we've got the MCU style legs and feet, but how does he stand? Does he pose? He does stand up pretty well. I don't really have any issues with that. Let's try the other hand, see what they're all about. In terms of articulation, I mean, it's all there, but it is pretty limited with the way the costume is kind of made. I don't know if it loosens up, if that'll help or not, but the costume seems to pretty much encompass all of the upper part of the legs. It is pinless everywhere, you know, it's all new tech, but there's no loose joints or there's no gummy joints or anything like that, which is nice to see. We've seen a little bit of that with the recent Marvel Legends, and at least that's been a bit of my experience. And I don't know if that's a windowless packaging thing or if that's a pinless joints thing. So, but I had was it Mr. Negative and his Offsider? They were very gummy. Hawkeye with the Sky Cycle, he was very gummy as well. So it's not all perfect, but Marvel Legends are super affordable and I love collecting en masse, so that's why I enjoy them there. So overall, it's a good figure, but it does suffer from the flaws that it has. This is kind of like a bit of a magic themed, supernatural-ish kind of themed little trio that I've got here, but we've got Agatha. Let's have a look. Okay, so she's wearing that dress that she's wearing at the end of WandaVision in the finale, and I feel like they could have done a little bit more with the head. It's on the bobble head, which I'm not a fan of. I really don't like it when they bobble. Just give me a straight up flat one. That's all I'm looking for. But she's got that like purple chaos magic in her hand and pointing. It's a pretty good little figure, I guess, and it comes on a stand because the head is quite heavy. So it stands up, it sits a little bit higher, it's elevated. It's something a little bit different for a Funko Pop. I enjoy it. It's not bad. I loved Agatha from WandaVision, one of my favorite Marvel characters of all time. Can't wait to see more of her, and definitely on the short list of the Funko Pops. Next is one that I've been looking for a long time, and it's just never been in stock anywhere I've been, so I snapped it up when I saw it today. Snape. Severus Snape. I reacted to the Harry Potter movies on this channel, and Snape was my favorite. From the moment I saw him, I knew he was going to be my favorite character, and I followed him quite a bit throughout the series, and I'm glad I did because he ends up being quite important. Now, this one isn't on a bobblehead, which is very happy to see that there. He's got his wand in his hand, he's holding his cloak, he's got his Snape hair that only Snape could have. That is a perfect Severus Snape Funko Pop, and I will proudly display him on my shelf. Ted, the Man-Thing from Werewolf by Night. This is all in black and white looking. This just looks amazing. He's one of those characters that his proportions are so weird. I kind of feel like getting a Funko of him, if it's the right sort of size, it can look really good on a shelf, even with regular, you know, Marvel Legends figures and stuff like that. But I really enjoyed Werewolf by Night. Again, reacted to it on the channel. Enjoy that. And my missus is a big fan of Ted as well. She thinks he has a lovely name. Okay, so this is pretty good because this wasn't overly expensive. This was only about 40 bucks, which is what a regular Marvel Legend like retails for here in Australia. So it wasn't like a overpriced one. The bobblehead thing here, like once you put them on a shelf, it doesn't really make a difference, but it's got this big disconnect there, and it's kind of disappointing, to be honest. That could have been a really awesome little piece to put on there, but the bobblehead gimmick kind of spoils it, which is really sad to see. But the paint application is pretty okay. There's a little bit of scuffing on both of the eyes. I don't know if that's supposed to be there or not. Maybe it is. It doesn't look like it is. But overall, it's still a great Man-Thing to put in my display, and I love Ted, and any way to represent him on my shelf, I'm down with that. I picked up the Magic Funko Pop the other day, so now I feel like I'm kind of building this little Midnight Suns team in Funko version, which is not good, because I really try and limit my Funko purchases. Next up is the new Marvel 60th Anniversary Avengers Black Widow, and I've been waiting for this quite a bit. I sort of started, sometime last year, I started trying to collect a like comic book Avengers team. So, you know, just the main Avengers people, but in comic book version. And I need a Black Widow for that collection. I've got Hawkeye, I got Hulk, I got Iron Man, I got Cap, I got the whole squad, and it's just Natasha that we've been waiting on, and this is a big deal. I know there's a lot of new parts being used to put this figure together, and everybody who I've seen talk about it has been raving about it. So this is a deluxe figure, so there's a lot of parts to this, a lot of accessories, which I'm keen to see what they how they go. Okay, first impressions. Love this. The butterfly joint is a very welcome addition, especially for a character like Black Widow, who known for, you know, flexibility, martial arts, and acrobatics and that kind of stuff. Knees bend perfectly fine on this. I know some people say they're a little bit stiff. Let's try the elbows out. Elbows a little bit stiff. Make sure you hold the bicep as you do the first bend at least. And yeah, I can get the second one going as well. I really like how firm everything is on this figure, like the joints and everything like that, because this is going to be a really fun one to pose. There's no toe articulation, but we've got a lot more movement in the abdominal area for a female Marvel Legend, and you know, that's exactly what you need with Black Widow. This is my first Black Widow figure outside of like the MCU version, which I really didn't like that much. But the paint application on this is clean. The head sculpt looks great with the short hair like that. I love the you know, the creasing that they've got on the body to sort of simulate that leather outfit that she wears. I mean, so many accessories with this. I'm gonna have some figure photography up on the side there showing you all the different options that you can have with the with this figure, but looking at the different head sculpts, I mean, this long hair one looks really, really good. I may put that on the Sharon Carter body and make it my Elsa Bloodstone. I'm trying to find the right hairline for that one. But the long hair head scan looks absolutely amazing. And then we've got this kind of spunky 80s Peggy Bundy looking hairstyle here, which that's unique. That's very different. I don't know if I'll be using that one there, but it definitely has a look to it. So, and the face sculpt on it, the face scan on it is perfect as well. I don't know what circumstances would call for that particular hairstyle in my collection, but we can always put it aside and see what it looks good on. I think I prefer the shorter hair. That's my own personal sort of preference with that one there. But let's have a look at some of these gauntlets, because we've got 3 sets of gauntlets with this, 3 sets of hands, 2 guns, a whole bunch of like smoke effects and stuff like that. So the hands clip on and off really, really well, and there's just so many gauntlets on here. It almost seems like unnecessary to have this many different ones. Like, I feel like they could just have one set that you could plug stuff into, but I'm still struggling to see what the overall difference is, other than the ones that have got effects on it seem to be a little bit shorter, and I imagine that's so it doesn't sort of clash with the hand that you've got on there. Stands up amazing. The like I say, the firmness of the joints on this is really what I keep coming back to. If this is the body mold they're going to use for more female Marvel Legends in the future, then I'm all on board with that, because this thing just looks unbelievable. It's a little bit tricky getting some of the effects into the hole on the gun, but for the most part, it all sort of clicks in together, and she just stands up so easily. Like, that's what I can't stress enough. She stands so easy, and the female Marvel Legends have had issues with that in the past. And with the butterfly joints now, you can really get good motion in terms of like where she's pointing her weapons at, because that's such a big thing with Black Widow, and having those extra joints in there just makes this is going to be figure of the year. I don't know what else they're going to put out this year that could pass this, but I don't know, this is pretty damn impressive. And it's still so light as well. I mean, even just using this, like, you know, cheap figure stand from Amazon, like, that will support. I mean, I'll put the picture over there. That will, you know, be supported. So I don't have any complaints about this figure at all. I think they absolutely nailed it. The price point is higher, but we did get quite a lot of extra stuff with this one here, like 3 sets of hands, 3 sets of gauntlets, 3 sets of effects, 3 heads, new body sculpt. This Marvel Legends Black Widow is definitely a must get. Next, we're going to unbox the Marvel Legends cel-shaded Mystique. This is my first cel-shaded figure, so this will be my first time unboxing one of these beautiful VHS boxes. My box got a little bit damaged in the post from Amazon, and I'm already a little bit suspect on the sticky tape on the back, so I don't know what that means. Hopefully everything is all good inside, but let's open her up. Alright, I say, I'm hoping this tape is okay. By the way, the box art on this, that picture of Mystique there, is absolutely amazing. I might find a way to recycle that that cover, because it looks great. Alright, well, the figure fell out of the cardboard. I think we're okay. I think we're alright. I don't think I've fallen victim to the you know, the horrible figure swap that some people seem to get. Alright, so first impression, it's a little bit, the color in it is a little bit washed out, but I don't hate it. The cel shading I actually don't mind on this. If I pick up a, like, morph cel shaded, I'll probably find a way to remove the cel shading, but it's really only on her clothing, and her clothing was always kind of, there's not much detail to that, it's just white, so it kind of just looks like it adds a little bit of definition to her clothing. Let's have a look at this articulation. I'm not sure if it's the design where the hands are supposed to be or not. It feels like one of my elbows is like on backwards. Like, just try to line up the cel shading and have it in a good position. Her hand sits at a really unnatural kind of position, but I don't know if that's something that's supposed to be for the purpose of posing or whatever like that, but I don't know, the elbow sits kind of weird on the right arm of this. The other one seems pretty okay, like, you know, exactly what I was expecting. Pinless arms. I wish we had pinless legs on this one though, because that would have been just perfect. But the head scan, let's have a look here. Looks pretty spot on. There's no blemishes. The eyes are painted in very well. The head bends all the way down like that. Oh my god. I don't know why she would need that, but that is still in the on the peg when it's doing that. So that's kind of crazy. The legs, again, we've got a bit of cel shading on there, but I don't mind it. I think it's okay. Got some accessories with her as well. I think it's like a rogue head or something, and a baby. And a gun. So we've got Nightcrawler as a baby, which I believe is a comic book storyline. The gun is a little bit bent, as you can see. You know, you can usually warm that up. I don't know how she's going to hold this, though. Oh, probably with her other hands. She's got a couple of gun hands. Yeah, some of the cel shading is in just weird places. Like, on the forearm here, it doesn't connect properly, because on the gun hand, the cel shading is on the thumb, which is kind of a strange thing. I don't really have any interest of setting her up with that big gun there, but she looks fantastic with the pistol, and she stands up great as well. The you know, there's no issue with the feet. I find sometimes with the female figures, the feet are a little bit small. This, very much similar to the Black Widow that I unboxed, are great female figures, and she is a welcome addition to my X-Men shelf. The figure shelf for the X-Men is almost done. I've got Mr. Sinister coming very soon, maybe even in time to include it in this video, so I'm loving collecting the X-Men Marvel Legends figurines. Mystique is a iconic character from the cartoons, and I do wish this one was a little bit more blue, like a brightish kind of blue. This one's a little bit more of a like a washed out, almost aqua kind of color. It still looks like a fantastic figure, but a little bit extra blue would have been nice. But I love this figure. I've wanted it for such a long time, and this did not disappoint. Let me know in the comments what your thoughts are on the Marvel Legends cel-shaded Mystique. And the main event of this video is going to be the Michael Keaton Batmobile and Michael Keaton Batman figure, both from McFarlane Toys. These are recent releases for the Flash movie where he appears with the Batmobile, I presume. I haven't actually watched it yet, but I'm going to get there very soon. I grew up a massive Batman fan, and I had this Batmobile right here when I was a kid, and immediately lost a Batarang in the engine bay. But I was very privileged to have that toy as a child, but I always wanted to have the Michael Keaton Batmobile because it's the best. It is the best Batmobile. Keaton isn't necessarily my favorite, to be honest. Probably Affleck, I would have to say, but I know that it's not really fair to compare the two, but Val Kilmer was the Batman when I was like hardcore into it. So I always have a soft spot for Val Kilmer. with that being said, Batman Forever doesn't age very well at all. It's not even like fun, entertaining. It's really dumb and goofy. So let's start off with the Michael Keaton Batman. I've got a few McFarlane toys. I've got 2 The Rock Black Adams, a comic Black Adam. That's my McFarlane Toys collection so far. So this is my first McFarlane's Batman, and I'm conflicted on McFarlane's. They're very, very cheap. The articulation is great, but they just feel so cheap and flimsy, basically. I do find them a little bit fiddly to try and get out of the box. So first of all, inside the box for this, we've got the Batman Flash trading card and a DC figure stand. Those have been coming in handy lately. All right, this thing was Zip Tie City trying to get it out of there, but this looks pretty goddamn amazing. I don't know if this is like supposed to be a 5 o'clock shadow, but there's kind of some like weird dark shadowy stuff going on around his around the side of his cowl. I don't know if that's bleed over from the paint or if that's what... I think he has a 5 o'clock shadow in the movie, so that's maybe on purpose. But this is a very nice Batman, and the quality of this feels significantly better compared to the other McFarlane toys that I've had. Does it have a bit... It even has a bit of front kick. I know that's been like the big problem of theirs, and I think this is so that he can sit in the Batmobile. But yeah, McFarlane has always had a bit of an issue with the front kick. It's got butterfly joints. It's got pinned it has got double jointed pinned joints. Now, is there any Oh, even the head articulates. Well, that's not right because the head on this actual Batsuit didn't articulate, but that's fine. I'm glad we've got articulation of the head for Michael Keaton. I'm sure he's got a bad neck from that. My initial thought of this is it looks absolutely amazing. I don't even see any blemishes on the paint application. Obviously being all black helps that, but the paint application they have done looks absolutely perfect. So this is my first McFarlane with replaceable hands, and I can see that they do it like SH figure art style. I don't have a Mafex figure yet to talk about that, but I've got a SH figure arts Professor Snape from Harry Potter. And I noticed that's how this hands are. We've got some bat accessories here as well. Let's grab these out. There's a batarang and a little grappling gun here for this one. Accessory-wise, it doesn't need many accessories, to be honest. The figure itself speaks for itself. I think it looks absolutely amazing. It's still a little bit tricky to get the poses on these right. The articulation still feels a little bit limited, but the quality of this feels like it's a huge step up from the previous McFarlane toys that I've got. This feels very sturdy, and the cape looks good. Everything is as advertised. This is a great figure. And we've reached a dilemma. So McFarlane has put 2 of the same piece in the box. I've received 2 of the left wing for the back of the Batmobile, and they have different connectors on the bottom in terms of how it goes in. They should be mirrored. They're not. I got the exact same piece twice. A little bit annoyed about that. That does, I mean, very annoyed. It definitely takes the moment away of being able to set this thing up, but it looks absolutely amazing. I think I'm going to have to maybe write to the McFarlane Toys company and ask them to send me a replacement piece. I'm fairly certain that's what's going to happen in a situation like this, but what an absolute bummer. I was talking about how much better quality the Batman figure was. I was talking about how this is, you know, feels like it was a turning of the page for McFarlane, like they're starting to learn from their previous mistakes and stuff like that. And then I get 2 of the same piece and I can't complete the Batmobile. So hopefully I've got that piece and I can complete this video once I receive it in the post. I'm going to get onto them right away. This is not going to go up for a few weeks, so we'll roll the dice and see if McFarlane can actually come to the table and send me the correct piece that I need to complete this Batmobile, because I'm blown away by how big it is and how detailed it is, especially for the price point, but I'm not going to go any further until I've got the correct piece. This is the update on BatGate, I'm going to call this one. So this is the duplicate part that I've got. I emailed McFarlane Toys a month ago and I haven't had a response. I was hoping that with the fact that this is very obviously an error in terms of the boxing of the item that McFarlane might come to the table, but so far no response. In the auto reply that I got from there, it does say that they don't carry replacement parts for their action figures. I don't know if this is going to come under the construction or building set as well, because they apparently do carry spare parts for that. So I'm going to give it another month, but McFarlane Toys, if you are seeing this, and I will put this up on whatever this app is called now, X, Twitter, I don't even know what to say. This is an easy win. This is a small item that was very clearly incorrectly packed at the factory, and I certainly don't want to have to burden the small independent collectible store that I bought this from to facilitate a refund and all that kind of stuff, because that just seems like a lot of work for people that haven't done anything wrong, where it's very obvious what has happened here. This was packed in the box incorrectly. I hope you got my email. I sent it from the business one, FWCI. Hopefully in the next unboxing video, which will be on the 30th of September. I've got good news and McFarlane has come to the table, but I really hope we can get this fixed because the car looks fantastic and it's just missing one wing. But thanks for joining me for this, the first of many unboxings. I really enjoyed doing this. I'm very passionate about action figures and design and color scheme and paint applications and all that kind of stuff. It's just a very fun expression of my nerdish interests. So I hope you enjoyed this one. Join me next month for another unboxing. If I can get some momentum and some views going on this, perhaps we'll start doing some giveaways and stuff as well. So share this video around, hit the like button, tell your friends about it. And as always, everyone, be well, stay safe, look after your friends. See you in the next video. Peace.